Hello, welcome back to the Autonomous Network Developer Sync. It's been a couple weeks since our last update, and lots has been happening. I think the, I guess, most crucial thing happening is that launch day is imminent. Barring, actually, I can't even think what would disrupt it at this point, but we have scheduled for Wednesday morning, so there'll be a lot more about this on the call today. Also highlighting, we will be at DevCon next week. We'll have, I don't know, quite a few of us there. So if you're there, reach out and we can get together. Go to ecosystem. How's it coming, Jim?
Yeah, very well. Thank you, Jeremy. Yes, so updates from ecosystem. So the micro space race was a great success. Taurus is up, of course. And yeah, as you mentioned, we're taking that as proof of our readiness for the mainnet launch. In case anyone's not sure, that's at 1600 UTC on Wednesday the 6th. We have our launch party call planned. I think Daria is going to talk a little bit more on the technical side of things, but I will be giving you a little rundown on the community calls we've got planned in the pipeline in a minute. I do want to make an appeal. I know we did one last week and there was a response for people to run farmers on Taurus. It doesn't need to be a big farm like 10 or 100 gig. I know it's all a question of scale, but it would be great if we could see more farmers. We're really keen to see the network effects at 1,000 nodes. Ideally, and the appeal last week was really successful. Actually, we jumped from 250 to 450 nodes last week, which was wonderful to see. Thank you very much. Okay, so that some users have been a little bit confused about the wallet prefix. So Taurus has an SU prefix as opposed to the Gemini and the previous testnets where we always had an ST prefix. I've recently dropped the link in the general chat in Discord, but there is a forum, a guide in the forum, in the guide section, strangely enough, which should demystify and hopefully answers all your questions. But if they don't, please do reach out because I will update it with any questions that I can answer directly in there. And I want to make it perfectly clear, there's no action on farmers. You don't need to create a new wallet. Both SU and ST wallets will work with the farmer software. And if you're not sure why that will just work, do check out the forum guide. It kind of goes into how substrate wallets work and explains how the same seed phrase can end up being represented in different formats. So yeah, the big news. We are launching mainnet on the 6th. We're going to have some calls here. So first of all, on the 6th, on Wednesday, we're going to have the launchpad call. That call is going to be more technical and aimed at farmers, which, as I'm sure many of you who are going to attend will have probably joined our micro and nano space races. So it's going to be a very similar format, but we're going to spread it out more. The micro and nano space races will kind of, we put everything into one day. So that's bring the network up, seed the data, set the space race target, smash the space race target. So we're going to be doing that same thing on Wednesday the 6th. We're going to be holding the launch pad on the community call, which we're calling our launch party. Because we're going to be doing some fun things. We're going to be announcing the results of the contest. The judging on the contests is underway as we speak. I know we're getting some questions from eager beavers in the community. Daria is also going to talk on the white paper, hopefully, and there's going to be a power for the first 250 claimants, so definitely attend, get in there early. Then on the 13th, we have another call planned, which is liftoff. And so what we're doing there is we're going to set the network up for the space race proper. I'll leave Daria to give us the exact details, but that call is going to be more aimed at the everyman. And we're going to have leadership talking on a number of subjects there. And of course, this is the big one, guys, the one you've been waiting for. So I really hope you're all going to join us on these calls. Doesn't get much bigger than mainnet launch, of course. And as a little side note, I will be putting out a GPU survey. Just interested in what GPUs you've got, and kind of how you use them, and if you're interested in using them in a different way on the Autonomous network. I'd really appreciate your participation, guys. So I just want to spam that. Thanks, Jeremy. That's everything from me today.
All right. Thank you, Jim. Very exciting times coming up. I think it'll be late in Thailand for that for many of us for the official start of the space race, but still looking forward to that and staying up all night if need be. All right, Daria, you want to give a more maybe technical overview of where we are and ready this launch status?
I mean, if for those who want to know how exactly it's gonna go, you can just watch our like Taurus call from last week. Like I'm going to be doing like exactly the same thing, but like just instead of Taurus, it's gonna say mainnet. You know, that's why we did that launch last week to train for that. So that's exactly what's going to be happening. We're gonna choose proof of time seed. We're gonna start the Genesis farmer. We're gonna wait for it to produce a couple blocks, and then we're going to take that seed that we've put in the call, we're going to put it actually inside the chain spec so that people don't have to specify CLI anymore. And then people will be able to download builds from GitHub and start running and syncing and plotting, while for the from the 6th to the 13th, Carlos will be setting some of the data on the network for the farmers to plot. Those of you who have been with us long enough may recall with some sweat all the replotting they have done last year. Um, so yes, it's going to be exactly like last week, and I am doing the final preparation. So I just actually opened a PR pull request to our repo with the mainnet chain spec. I'm going to be building that today, and we're going to be making a new build for everybody to be ready to download and running on Wednesday. So coming up.
And just to highlight for those early farmers, they're important to us, but they will be experiencing a lot of replotting. So um,
Yes, true. And also, if you are going to be joining on the call right away, it's going to be the same as last week. You would need to specify the POT external entropy manually. You would have to use sync full. But then, you know, a little bit later, once we've got some data on the network and it's become a little more stable, you'll be able to, you know, download a new build. They don't have to specify that manually anymore. And Space Acres build is also going to follow that.
so a critical step in this that was alluded to is history seeding. So I know we've had contests and we've been internally gathering data, and Carlos has worked diligently at getting a seeding script, a very robust seeding script to get the data onto the chain. You want to give an update where we are on that, Carlos?
Yeah. When we make the history seeding towards testnet, I had some issue that basically it wasn't starting up. Like the first transaction didn't go through, and it was basically because I was yeah, basically I was checking some condition wrongly, and I fixed that the other day when we test the mainnet release, and now it's good to go, the history seeding script. And but would be nice to have like the copy of the data that we are going to see to the to mainnet to ensure that we can put that in the IPLD format without any trouble.
But the status on that, I know we've got the Genesis data folder that people could
Mhm.
upload the data to. It looks like we have stuff in there. We have the Genesis Data Community Contest. Is that complete now, Jim? Just to be clear.
Yes, everything
Okay.
from the contest is in there.
So Carlos, I
Mhm.
think when you download this, you'll want to unzip that data just so we can have the nice folder structure.
Mhm.
For those who contributed there, it'll be easier to find their data. And then the final I think, piece of this to fill in the gap is we had decided on a wiki download. Is this
Mhm.
accurate?
Okay.
So you'll want to grab that as well. We have that linked somewhere, I believe. And Jim, maybe if you could make sure that we have all of that together.
Okay, so the data would be composed by those two elements.
Yeah, that folder plus the wiki is my
Okay,
understanding. Okay,
right.
cool.
Yeah, that
First,
folder Google Graph is not very organized. It has like a bunch of subfolders and stuff, and people downloaded that. So you'd
yeah,
be, feel free to download it and zip it and make it as usable as you want it to be. It doesn't have to have the same folder structure. But we need to make sure with marketing, they wanted to upload a couple more things. So let's make sure this is completely final by Wednesday.
Okay.
but for testing, you could probably just download that and start testing with how you would go about that. Some
Yeah.
of the benefits of having the folder structure and messy is testing how our IPLD implementation with AutoDrive kind of works. So
Mhm. Yeah, my main concern was more about the wiki than the rest of files because those I already tested when we got the first his readings.
great. All right, I guess keep going.
Okay.
You're the next update is you as well. So how's AutoDrive coming along?
So basically, the two latest weeks I've been working in Autodrive, mainly into main features that has been the multi-part upload file. Basically, this feature enables uploading files in the tens of gigabytes. And basically, the key achievement has been that to process asynchronously a file into IPLD format that has been a little more challenging than expected. And the other main feature has been encryption and compression implemented in Autodrive. And if you want, I could show you a little demo about it.
Go ahead.
Do you see my screen?
Yep.
Cool. So this is Autodrive. Oh, so yeah, this is Autodrive, and basically the current implementation of encryption decryption relies on passwords. It's not the highest security, but it's a PLC. So basically, we would have to go to the profile section. Yep. And in my accounts, update default password. We use a password here. That's something that we want to keep private. Once we have set up this password, we can go to the files view, and basically we are going to upload the Autonomys white paper. And with this button, we are going to upload the file with the default password. We could also like select any password we want for every reason. But yeah, basically encrypt with default password. And this basically we're now encrypting the file that we have some missed logs here. But yeah, after a while, And now, basically, we are gonna see that our file is uploaded. It's true that now, basically, since the implementation of the IPLD nodes is asynchronous, we have some migration process that lasts like 15 seconds or so. So now the download is unavailable, but in a few seconds should be processed. Yeah, and now we can download it. And since we are using the default password, we're gonna see like the file already decrypted. Yeah, and now we can open the white paper, and yeah, we're seeing the PDF correctly uploaded, downloaded. Yeah,
Great.
basically that's it.
So yeah, go ahead.
Yeah. I just comment a few other like related topics. The SDK for interacting with the API is gonna be prepared really soon. I estimate like for the end of the day or tomorrow end of the day. And yeah, that was what I wanna add.
So within the SDK, we're going to have two two packages. One for interacting with the API, which you'll need credits, kind of and you'll get some of those right away when you uh, sign up. But those credits are not directly autonomous, the AI3 token, right? Those are like API credits, and there's the connection into the blockchain has been abstracted away from the user. But we also are going to have a package if you have credits and want to be using them directly, that you'll be able to do the same way that we've implemented the API. Users will be able to implement on their own as well, including the whole IPLD format and the encryption, compression, all of that will be in that portion.
Yeah, that's correct.
Great. All right. Finally, while we've been very focused on the launch of the consensus chain, and that's been the majority of what we're talking about, and things like AutoDrive surrounding that, we have still been hard at work on decoupled execution and domains. One example of that is what Shamil has been working on for the last, I don't know, couple months maybe, and that is domains fast sync. So I think this is going to be a game changer for those who are wanting to be operators on an already mature domain. It was quite painful, especially after we had fast sync on consensus, to have to wait through the whole kind of normal process for sync on the operators. So Shamil, you want to kind of give an update what you've been working on and where we're at?
Sure. We're going to introduce a new feature, domain snapsync. It's the same feature as snapsync for consensus chain, but for domains. Technically, it's a more complicated feature than consensus snapsync because it synchronizes both consensus and domain chains and also performs additional MMR sync. Moreover, it contains the consensus chain sync as a first part of its algorithm. It synchronizes the consensus chain state, domain chain state, MMR data, and resumes normal domain operator work after that. To clarify, MMR data is special data that's stored locally related to fraud proofs and cross-domain messaging. We expect domain snapsync to be a much faster version, and it will synchronize the domain operator node much faster than the full sync. Similar how to consensus snaps sync works much faster than the full DSN sync for farmer nodes. And currently work on the last internal review rounds. That's it.
Great. So I know as one who ran an operator and reran operators, and the sync process was always frustrating in the in how it was, the whole process. So looking very much forward to that. We will be testing this well, we've been focused on consensus chain. We do have Taurus up. Taurus is a persistent test net, and all of these things like operators and domains are going to be being launched on Taurus over the next month. So be expecting to see progress on domains as well. So I think that is all from our side. Jim.
Yeah, sorry, Jeremy, just want to jump in at the end. Something that our viewers may not be aware of is that the team have been working over the weekend to bring up an internal DevNet, and I've actually just spotted a request from Daria to ask if we can have some community members joining. What we really need is guys who are able to, we don't need big farms, but what we do need is for you to make sure that you've got your ports wide open. That will really help us. By the time you're going to be watching this video, it's going to be on YouTube, which is some point in the future. So what I'll do is I'll probably pop a guide into Discord, and if you look below this video, you should find a link. It'll be the last one, and that will give you where to download the DevNet binaries and the start command that you're going to need to use. We'd really appreciate it if we can get a few more people. Obviously, this is likely to be our last test network before mainnet. So yeah, just a little appeal there. Thanks, Jeremy.
All right. Well, I believe that is all that we have. We will see everybody back in a couple of weeks.